bless him. Instead of dirt, it's something you can invest in. He said the earth takes shape like clay to the seal when it's pressed in. Heaven stretched out like a tent to rest in. The sky is the limit.
No, literally could the firmament hit you, yeah. The sky the limit.
This is someone that he stayed up all night, Wes. This is great.
Yeah.
The guy stayed up all night. He wanted to film this lunar eclipse that was happening at daybreak. You know, he's like, it's really cold. He's out there with his girlfriend filming, and he wants to show people, all right, guys, the sun's over there, the moon's over here, and it's beautiful, guys. The moon's going down as the sun's going to come up, and we're going to get to see this, you know, the lunar eclipse start to happen, right? Think about this. The sun's coming up. The moon's going down. Okay? So, Wes, if the solar eclipse model was true, or the lunar eclipse model was true, which way would the lunar shadow start happening on the moon?
Let's just show the people. Let them see themselves. All right.
All right. Hope you guys can catch up with this. Where'd it go?
It's better with the visual. Makes more sense.
Recording? Am I on?
Yes.
Am I on?
Shush.
So it's December 10th, about 6:30 in the morning. It's about 18 degrees out here, and we're standing on top of Cahokia Mounds, just east of St. Louis. Behind me is a full moon, which will soon be going into a full lunar eclipse as it sets, kind of a rare experience, while at the same time behind us, the sun is already beginning to rise. So this could be a very interesting and beautiful experience. Oh my God. So it's about 6:55, and as you can see, we're
This way?
getting a little bit brighter out here. You can see the shadow creeping across the moon. It's a little hard to see, I'm sure, in the camera, but from here, we can see it nice and clearly. It's about a third of the way covered. The moon's starting to turn nice and orange. Over my right shoulder, you can see downtown St. Louis and the nice early morning sun, which is getting very bright on the eastern horizon behind us. Yeah, we'll get that in there again. So you can see it's practically day here, yet we still have the full moon out, which is slowly eclipsing. And it's still cold.
Real quick, Wes, why isn't everything bathed in red at this point? If the sun is right over the horizon, why isn't all of our morning light just completely as red as the lunar eclipse moon every single morning? But it's not. It's yeah. There's a tint you get of a redder sun as it goes in through the atmosphere, but it still doesn't even bathe everything in red every single night and morning. This is the craziest thing ever. Okay,
it really is. They try to tell us that it's caused by Earth shine reflecting back onto the moon, but the big thing is that doesn't happen when there's a quote unquote new moon.
That's right.
There's this Earth shine causing this red light scattering, cast onto the face of the moon, and they said that's what it's causing it. However, where's the Earth shine when the new moon happens, when there's nothing to be seen?
They just lose track of it. It's crazy. Mm-hmm. Maybe Mythbusters can try to reflect their laser off that little mirror on the moon during the new moon and see what happens.
Yeah.
Okay, so it's now about 7:04 a.m. and over my shoulder you probably cannot see anything, but through the stacks of the refinery back there, we can just barely make out a little bit of the moon left. It's about 2/3 of the way covered with Earth shadow, and it's turning a sort of pale orange, pinkish color. But with the bright morning sun coming up, there's not much, not enough contrast to be able to see the moon there. We can still see it just a little bit. What I find very interesting is I was expecting the shadow to come upward across the moon as it would go down and it would pass into shadow, and actually it's going the other way around. The shadow, as the moon is here, the shadow is creeping down across the moon, even though the sun's coming up over here, and that must be because of the moon's rotation around the Earth. It's moving farther up, even though the sun's light is actually coming from over there. It's actually coming underneath the Earth. So if you imagine the sun is here, the Earth is here, and the moon is back here, and this light was coming under the Earth, but the moon must be rotating around even though we're turning, so it looks like the moon is going down. It's kind of an optical illusion. It's pretty cool.
Is it,
guys? Oh my goodness, guys. So he's literally watching, the sun and the moon are both above the horizon, and he's literally watching the moon, the shadow of the eclipse of the moon happening from the top of the moon going down. and he's trying to make up an explanation for it, thinking, oh, maybe the sun's light is going underneath the earth, and that's what's caught in that the refraction because of the rotation of like it's just.
Meanwhile, they can still see the sun above the horizon.
They can still see it. Like, this is crazy. This is what your mind does to make up an excuse when you don't have any other options. So this is why Wes and I are committed, passionate, and dedicated to bringing the true biblical cosmological option for people to consider, because suddenly they'll understand truth.
Yeah. Things start to make a lot more sense when you don't have all the confusion of lies.
That's right.
7:08. I'm sorry, the sun will rise at 7:08. The moon is scheduled to set at 7:08. So exact same time. So we might actually catch a glimpse of both for a brief moment as the moon is disappearing. Okay. Let's see. Go ahead. You're on?
Mm-hmm.
We're on again. Well, it is now officially 7:08. And if you look behind us, the sun is just starting to peek up over the trees. We can't quite see the sun. And behind us, the moon has pretty much disappeared into eclipse. But otherwise, it would be setting right now. But it has been fully eclipsed for just a few minutes. So it disappeared just a couple minutes ago. And you can just see a sliver of the sun through the trees there. You see it now? Can you see it in the camera? Zoom.
It's right. It's right there.
It's a tiny little sliver of bright.
Bro, the moon is like way above the horizon.
The sun is peeking up. And that's, of course,
Way
You said it backwards, the sun's rising there, yeah.
Which means there's been like 30 minutes of it.
this direction,
still
180
descending.
degrees. The other direction from me is where the moon is. So they're in a perfect line.
And the eclipse
This
has
way,
been happening for like 30
that way, and
minutes.
if we drew a line from
Top
edge
down.
to the Earth to the moon,
Listen.
it would be a nice, perfect straight line. Of
No,
course,
it's
if
not.
It wasn't. They wouldn't be in line.
Right.
We wouldn't be having a lunar eclipse. So I think that's it. It's warmed up just a little bit. It's
You
probably
could
up
see
at least
that they
20
weren't in
degrees
line.
now. You can definitely see the sun coming up now if you want to get one last little shot of that. Just a little blip there.
So now,
And
why isn't the moon fully illuminated?
that's it. That was
Right.
an amazing experience.
Exactly.
Sunrise and a lunar eclipse at the same time. Good morning.
Father, help us. And I don't think that's what Mike Maranatha was singing about when he said top down. But this, that's what the links the mind will go to make excuses, because they've never been told the truth. So guys, help us get the truth out. Hit that like button, share this video if you're liking our content. Really, I mean, this kind of stuff is too easy to disprove and show that there's lies everywhere, because the math doesn't work, their dimensions, their scales don't work. Like, this is literally a lie perpetrated on mass society. Yeah, I'm sorry, I'll stop.
You're okay. Yeah, I just hope that we did a good job explaining what we were looking at there, because yeah, when they say the sun, Earth, the moon in line causes the lunar eclipse, yet we see that lunar eclipse happen when both the sun and the moon are up, visible above the horizon in the same sky, and then that shadow, which according to their model should have been moving from the bottom to the top during a lunar eclipse, it's the opposite that we see. So none of it's happening the way they say it is.
That's right. And when you zoom in with a high-powered camera, you see the background behind me. You guys see this?
Mm-hmm.
So even though it looked fuzzy in that photo, that bad quality video you just saw, but once you have a high-powered lens and you zoom in on a lunar eclipse happening, this is not a shadow, guys. The body of the moon itself is changing colors from within itself, and it's happening slowly, creeping across the face of the moon. And the one that I saw in 2016, Wes, I had someone that was texting me at the time saying, because I was trying to flat smack them, and so they were texting me and they were trying to say, look, I'm at a lunar eclipse watch party right now with a bunch of astronomers and telescopes, and I'm like, oh sweet, did you notice how the shadow is going from the wrong direction? It's going left to right instead of from right to left.
Yeah.
And they just stopped texting me at that point.